The following is a live exclusive sports presentation of the RVA Sports Network. And a beautiful Friday morning here at Glen Allen High School. And we thank you for being with us for this exclusive coverage of State Semifinal Friday. It's the Class 5 State Softball Semifinal between the Region B champion Lee-Davis Confederates and the Region B runner-up Prince George Royals. The third time this year that these two teams have gone head-to-head. We're live at sun-drenched Glen Allen High School just before 10 o'clock. And we are just underway. Second pitch of the first at-bat. And, of course, that's Laura Thompson, the leadoff hitter, and the pitcher for the Prince George Royals. And the count 2-0. Lee-Davis Prince George still to come. Tuscarora Brook Point winners play each other in 24 hours for the Class 5 softball championship. Henley's next delivery is in there nicely at the letters for strike one. Savannah Henley, sophomore, left-handed hurler, had a gutsy performance in the 2-1 win over Prince George in the region final last Friday night at Mills Godwin High School. 2-1 pitch here is high, and Laura Thompson, always a threat on the bases with her speed, is ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 was the final last Friday. 7-1 was the final when these two teams played at Prince George in April here on the RVA Sports Network. Prince George getting 2 big middle innings offensively for the win. Henley's going to lose Thompson, and Laura will get the leadoff walk on 5 pitches to get underway here in the state semifinal. And that'll bring up her sister, Sarah Thompson, the shortstop. Prince George came into the region championship last Friday at 20-0. Lee-Davis handed them what's been so far their only loss of the 2018 season. First pitch on the outside corner for strike one. Lee-Davis entered last week at 18-2, got the victory over Prince George, and then got the Tuesday night quarterfinal win over Kempsville. So they come in today at 20-2. Prince George comes in today at 21-1. Home plate umpire calls time and has a word. Savannah Henley, and now has returned back behind the plate. Sarah Thompson will get the sign. Alyssa Swords is on deck with Laura Thompson at first with the leadoff walk to get us started this morning. Next pitch, foul down the right field line and out of play, and quickly the count 0-2 to Sarah Thompson. Prince George last made the state tournament in 2014. 4 years ago, Prince George and Patrick Henry both made the state semifinals in what was known then as the Group 5A classification, and both fell in semifinal play. This current group of Royals, senior class, sophomores lost to this team, Lee-Davis, 2 years ago in the regional semis. Check swing, they're going to call strike 3. Throw to first is going to get away from Gentry, and Laura Thompson's going to be able to go over to second, but there is one away here in the top of the first inning. And then last year, Prince George lost in what was considered a bit of an upset in the quarterfinals of the old Region 5. Region 5, well, the old 5A South region. The nomenclature is killing us, folks, in the media, as for as many changes as the Virginia High School League has made since 2013. 5A South region quarterfinal, they lost last year in the quarterfinal round to Glen Allen, who lost eventually to Lee-Davis. First pitch to Swords right down the pike for strike one. For Lee-Davis, it's their third consecutive year in the state Final Four. They lost to Atlee in the state semis in 2016. And, of course, they made it to the state championship last year, only to lose 1-0 to those same Atlee Raiders. And Lee-Davis finally ended the championship run of Atlee in the Region 5B semifinals 9 days ago. The 0-1 got it on the corner for strike 2. Henley, after the 5-pitch walk, very strong. Thompson was down 0-2, struck her out. Swords now down 0-2 with Laura Thompson at second and 1 out. Pitch, grounder to third, just foul. Haley Wagner couldn't get to it. That one hugged that line very closely, but just on the foul side and will remain at no balls and 2 strikes. Just finished up our usual Friday morning broadcast coverage of high school sports with our friends at ESPN Richmond, 99.5 and 102.7 with RBA Locals Only, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Our thanks to Bob Black and Andrew Wallace for having us on live today from Glen Allen. And Greg Burton will be here live at Glen Allen, broadcasting Hardly Working this afternoon, live from 4 until 6. Next pitch just misses outside, and the count is 1-2 to Swords. Of course, we're with Bob and Andrew on the Black and Drew Sports Huddle every Friday morning, 9:30 to 10, talking high school and local sports on RBA Locals Only, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Pop up, Taylor's going to go get it in front of second and make the play, and Swords is retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 down here, top 1. And Caitlin Abernathy will be coming to the plate. Caitlin on her way to Christopher Newport University. Her older sister, KC, is part of the Randolph-Macon Yellow Jacket team that set a school record with 40 wins this season. First pitch at the knees and across for strike 1 to Abernathy. With Laura Thompson on second, she walked. She advanced to second on an error by Hawker on a throw back to first, trying to pick her off on strike 3 to Sarah Thompson. Abernathy ready. The 0-1 is going to get the outside corner for strike 2. And quickly, Caitlin down 0-2 here, top 1. She can get a ball in play anywhere in the outfield. Thompson, a threat to score from second easily, as she has tons of speed. Time's called by the home plate umpire. Henley takes a quick moment to talk to her battery mate, Logan Hawker. We'll set the rest of the lineup for you as we have time for both teams. Deep Run Prince George baseball is just underway, as is Deep Run and Douglas Freeman girls soccer. Soft grounder to Wagner at third, fires to first, and it's just in time for the third out of the inning. So 1 left on base. Wagner with a bullet to Gentry at first to retire Abernathy, and we go bottom 1 here in the Class 5 state semifinals. And it's Prince George nothing and Lee-Davis coming to bat. Today's broadcast coverage on the RVA Sports Network brought to you by the Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters Club. We appreciate them stepping up to the plate, metaphorically and otherwise, to help us out and give you the broadcast coverage of today's big state semifinal game. And we know there's a lot of you out there that are out of town that can't make it today. It's a work day, so some of you are listening in the office, and dare I say there might be 1 or 2 students trying to sneak this in class. We don't endorse that, and that's all we'll say about that. Number 14, Haley Godfrey. Getting a lot of questions on Twitter about coverage this weekend. Right now, this is our one game that we are scheduled to broadcast live. We will tell you that if Lee-Davis wins today's softball game, we will broadcast the state championship tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here on the RVA Sports Network. If you go to RVASportsNetwork.com right now, at the top of the page, you see our link to ESPN Richmond. You see our link to our YouTube broadcast right now. And then below that, you see our complete Twitter coverage schedule of all the state semis on this beautiful Friday. And you go to the various hyperlocal Twitter feeds of the RVA Sports Network to get updates from your favorite team, We retweet everything on our main Twitter feed, the RVA Sports Net. But we've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 state semifinals today across the Commonwealth that involve RVA area teams. 3 of them underway here right now at Glen Allen High School. Underway at Deep Run right now, Thomasdale Western Branch in the Class 6 baseball state semifinals. Virginia Tech right now, Class 2 softball semifinal between Page County and the King William Cavaliers. It'll be Lauren Taylor, the leadoff hitter and the shortstop, stepping into the box for Lee-Davis, bottom of the first, to face Laura Thompson. Laura is ready, and here comes the first pitch. It'll 1. I think arguably, and Eric Kolinich was with us on RVA Locals Only from the Richmond Times-Dispatch last half hour, and we had a brief plug talking about their all-metro teams coming up at the end of the month. And I think when you talk about softball and pitchers, Laura Thompson has to be near the top of that conversation. She's had that kind of year. Next pitch fouled, out of play behind us, and the count will be 1 ball and 1 strike. Mason Basicus over at Powhatan. It's always the names I worry about and then practice in my head that when I try to actually emit them through my mouth, I have a problem with. Mason's had a fantastic year, and I think Molly Gruby over at Manchester has to be considered. She has had a phenomenal year as well. They play in a state semi at Deep Run at 1 today in Class 6. Next pitch outside corner. And Thompson will get ahead of Taylor, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Taylor, front of the batter's box, kind of hugging the plate a little bit. Longwood commit and a junior. She's ready, and Thompson's set and fires the 1-2, and it's in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Haley Wagner, third baseman, who's had a pretty good offensive postseason, is on deck for Lee-Davis. Thompson gets the sign. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Popped foul and out of play. And the count will stay at 2-2. For a 10 o'clock Friday morning softball game, we have a very, very good crowd. Not just here in the bleachers below us, but up at the top of the hill behind the concession stand building, which is next to the soccer stadium stands. Lots of people bringing their lawn chairs to come out and enjoy on this very, very nice Friday morning. Another 2-2 in the dirt, 3-2 to Taylor. And, of course, a lot of seniors, their responsibilities have completed, so they don't have to go to school today. And so here they have an opportunity to come out and support their team. Next pitch. It's low for ball 4, and Lauren Taylor will draw the leadoff walk. Prince George strikes first in baseball, fans. Bottom of the first now across the way, and it's Prince George 2 and Deep Run nothing. So that's our first score update of the afternoon, or I should say of the morning. Boy, almost never say morning. We usually say afternoon or evening. So got to get used to that here as well. Wagner to the plate. We're now at first on the walk. Showing bunt, tries to lay it down, can't. Throw back to first, and Taylor dives in safely. Second baseman applied the tag and almost got Lauren on the pickoff. So no balls and 1 strike to Wagner. Sydney Guess is on deck. Both teams start their first inning with a leadoff walk. The 0-1 showing bunt, pulling away. It's inside, and the count will be even at 1 ball and 1 strike. If you're coming out to any of the events at Glen Allen or Deep Run today or tomorrow, tickets $10. Be mindful to be here a few minutes early today, especially because school is in session. Parking is an issue. 1-1 pitch, showing bunt, popped it up. It'll be foul and out of play and caught by a fan. And the count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes. So that likely will take the bunt scenario out of Coach Jackie Davis's repertoire here. But with Wagner, she is always a threat to pop one into the gap. And the Royals know it. These two teams know each other very well, having already met twice this season. This is the rubber match, as both 1-1. Prince George in the regular season 7-1. Lee-Davis in the region final last Friday night 2-1. And now the 1-2. Wagner pops it up, and it's going to be just barely out of play, about 4 rows into the fans right below us here at our broadcast position. And Wagner try again at 1-2. Winner here gets the winner of Tuscarora and Brook Point. They play, scheduled to play here at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Championship tomorrow morning at 10. If Lee-Davis wins today, we will be live on our YouTube channel with the state championship tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thompson's ready. And the 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. And Wagner goes down on strikes. First out of the inning. Taylor stays at first. And right now, the bottom of the first, mirror image of the top of the first. A walk and a strikeout to the first 2 batters for both Prince George and Lee-Davis. And now Sydney Guess to the plate.
Now batting right fielder number 13, Sydney Guess.
Guess on her way to Coastal Carolina. Both of these teams have outstanding senior classes, and one of the reasons why both of these teams are still standing and playing on this Friday morning. First pitch. In the dirt, gets back behind the catcher. Taylor will race towards second and get there safely. That one just kind of slid out of Laura's hand and rolled from about 10 feet before the plate. And the count will be no balls and 1 strike. And a quick timeout. Sword's going to go out and talk to Thompson real quick. I believe this conversation may be ostensibly partially for the purposes of strategy, but mostly for the purposes of communication and calming things down. And Lee-Davis is the experienced team in this level. Again, their 3rd straight appearance in state semifinal play. Prince George, first time they've been here since 2014, which means the seniors this year were 8th graders. 1-0 pitch. Check swing, outside corner. It's strike 1. Swords will run up toward Thompson. Taylor gets back to second. She'll underhand flip the ball back to Laura, and the count's even at 1-1. Again, Lee-Davis 1-1 in those 2 state semifinal appearances, losing to Atlee in 16 and winning last year on their way to that state championship game with Atlee. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and the count's 1-2, and Thompson early attacking low, getting Wagner to chase a low pitch for strike 3, and Guess went after a low one there and is now down 1-2. Here with 1 out, bottom of the first. Again, Prince George with 2 in the top of the first to take a 2-0 lead at baseball over Deep Run. Thompson's ready, the next pitch, popped it up down the third base line. Shortstop going to get it in foul territory and will make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So Sarah Thompson gets over to make the grab. 2 down for Logan Hawker. Logan has certainly made her presence felt all 4 years. She has been on varsity since 9th grade. Took over the catching position her sophomore season. First pitch to Logan in the dirt, blocked by Swords, so Taylor has to retreat to second, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Logan Hawker. 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Taylor walked, went to second on a wild pitch. Wagner struck out. Guess fouled out to Thompson down the third base line. Here comes the 1-0. Low. 2 balls, no strikes to Hawker. Should the inning continue, Jesse Gentry would be on deck. Arguably the hottest hitter for Lee-Davis in the postseason. Hawker ready, Thompson ready. The 2-0, swing and a miss, and the count will be 2 balls and 1 strike. They'll throw down to second. Taylor's back safely. Deep run has scored. At baseball, bottom of the first, it's now Prince George 2 and deep run 1. The count here is 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. No score. Thompson set the pitch. Going to miss low. And it's 3-1 to Hawker. Hawker always a defense, and Thompson and company know that all too well, so they're not going to be giving her anything particularly wonderful to look at, but they've got probably the hottest hitter on the team and Gentry behind her, so they got to be careful. Here comes the 3-1. Missed. Ball 4. Taylor at second. 2 down, and here comes first baseman Jesse Gentry.
Now batting first baseman number 11, Jesse Gentry. Running for the Confederates, number 3, Sierra Talley.
We'll get the courtesy runner for the catcher, and that'll be Sierra Talley running for Logan Hawker. Gentry steps in. Here's the first pitch. At the knees for strike 1 to Jesse Gentry. Senior first baseman Chawan will be her future home. Jesse ready, kind of an outward batting stance. 0-1, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 now to Gentry with Taylor at second. Tally courtesy for Hawker at first. And 2 down here in the bottom of the first in the Class 5 state softball semifinal. Gentry will close that stance just as Laura begins to deliver the pitch. Here comes the 0-2. Got her. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Laura Thompson strikes out Gentry, wins that battle. 2 stranded here in the bottom of the first inning for Lee-Davis. 1 in the books today in the Class 5 state softball semifinal, and our score is Prince George 0 and Lee-Davis 0.
Provider of telecommunications services, including broadband internet, cable television, and home phone. Centel was founded in 1902 in the Shenandoah Valley and has grown to serve over 1 million combined customers. Centel is also an affiliate of Sprint Wireless. This means they build and maintain their own wireless network and retail stores. Centel operates 66.
2-1 the score over at baseball, as we mentioned a moment ago. Prince George with the early lead on deep run. And over at soccer, it is Deep Run and Douglas Freeman in a rematch of the Region 5B's championship game, just like we have here at softball. And there is currently no score there as well. And again, a big thank you to the Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters Club for sponsoring today's coverage from the RVA Sports Network. 2018-19 school year is literally just around the corner. And teams are already in conditioning and some in practice. You have rules about when you can and when you can't. End of July and the start of the fall football and field hockey and cross country and volleyball seasons will be very, very soon. And they always need your support. The student athletes aren't able to get the equipment that they need and the equipment to take care and maintain the fields and other things such as that without the help from the community. So if you're a Lee-Davis alum, a Lee-Davis parent, a Lee-Davis student, Athletic Boosters would love to hear from you. For more information, you can find them on Facebook, Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters. You can always call the school office to get additional information as well. And our thanks to the Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters Club for sponsoring our coverage here at the State semifinal on this Friday morning. Rob with them along with you live here on the RBA Sports Network. Inning number 2 getting underway. And it'll be Brooke Loving leading things off, second baseman for the Royals. First pitch to Brooke will be at the knees for strike 1. Loving, Nays, Godfrey are scheduled here in the top of inning number 2. We're guaranteed an RBA team in the state championship tomorrow. We'll see which one will make it. Grounder foul over to the Lee-Davis dugout down the third base line, and the count quickly 0-2 on Loving. Tomorrow's Class 5 championship will begin at 10 o'clock and will be here at Glen Allen High School. Henley set the 0-2 high, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our final live Twitter coverage of the 2017-18 school year will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. when the Atlee Raiders girls lacrosse team goes for their first ever state championship. Swing and a miss, and Loving goes down on strikes. 1 away here in the top of the second for Kyla Nays, the first baseman.
First baseman number 29, Kyla Nays.
Kyla had a big hit early on in Prince George's win in the regional semifinals to punch their ticket here to the state tournament. Left-handed hitter. Lefty against lefty. She'll send one down the left field line, trailing, and it'll be foul. And the count will be no balls and 1 strike on Nates. Haley Godfrey, the third baseman, is on deck. Prince George was the first and only number 1 team in the RBA Sports Network Top 10 softball poll this entire season. They started at 1 and they stayed at 1, going unbeaten, the only unbeaten in the regular season. Next pitch trails away, and the count's even at 1-1. Lee-Davis was in the top 5 most of the season. Certainly played the tougher schedule of the 2 teams. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it'll be 1-2 on Nace with 1 out here, top 2. And Lee-Davis's schedule should have been tougher. They should have played a game at Manchester late in the regular season, but it got canceled because Manchester had missed so many games within their district. They had to make up some of them. The 1-2. Grounder to third. Goes off of Wagner's glove. Taylor tries to grab it. Can't. And Nays will reach on an error by the third baseman. And so a Royal on with 1 out here, top of the second for Haley Godfrey. Haley, the third baseman. And the number 7 hitter in the Prince George order. Can remember the look on the faces of the Royals last year after that loss to Glen Allen in the old region quarterfinal, as it's a tapper to Henley. She'll go to first, and ostensibly it's kind of like a sacrifice bunt. It's actually a fielder's choice because she was swinging away. And it'll advance Nays over to second. And with 2 down here in the second, that'll bring up Aaron Miles, the right fielder, with a 2-out RBI opportunity. You could just see the disappointment on the Prince George faces when they lost that quarterfinal a year ago to Glen Allen. Excuse me, outside corner, strike 1 for Henley on the first pitch to Miles. And you could tell it was going to be fuel and motivation for this senior-laden team in 2018, and it has been so far. Next pitch, foul back to the screen. And the count 0-2 with 2 out. They go to the second at baseball. It is Prince George 2 and Deep Run 1. Here, no score, top of the second, with a runner at second and 2 out. The count 0-2 on Miles. Henley ready, the pitch, off swing, got her. Pull the off-speed pitch for strike 3. They'll leave a runner at second for the second straight inning. And we go bottom 2 here. With the score still, Lee-Davis nothing and Prince George nothing. brought to you by Microsoft, as you hear our computer working here this morning. And a big strikeout for Savannah Henley there to wrap up top of inning 2. Winner today gets the winner, and Tuscarora. They face off at 1 o'clock this afternoon here. The Class 5 softball semis here at Glen Allen. The Class 6 semis going on over at Deep Run. So Thomasdale baseball is now underway. Manchester softball will play at 1 o'clock this afternoon. They had to flip that bracket, I believe, due to a school graduation involving one of the other teams in the Final Four. And that happens from time to time with the state semifinals and championships. So we start bottom of the second inning, and Katie Bareford will lead things off for Lee-Davis. Thompson is ready, and the first pitch is high for ball 1. We're also doing our best to keep you updated across our Twitter network this beautiful Friday morning. We can tell you Goochland baseball now down after 2 innings, scored 2-0 in the Class 2 semifinals way down in Southwest Virginia. Here comes the 1-0, swing and a miss, and we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bareford, Carly Harding, McKenna Melbrick. They're due up here in the bottom of the second inning. Here comes the 1-1. Outside corner, very nicely painted, does Laura Thompson, and it's 1-2. Thompson gets ready to toe the rubber. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And for Thompson, that is strikeout number 4. 1 down here, bottom of the second inning. Check that, strikeout number 3 for her.
Number 1, Carly Harding.
And so that'll bring up Carly Harding, the second baseman. Carly struggled a bit at the plate offensively in the regular season, but has come on, had some timely hits in postseason play. First pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Maggie Walker, George Mason girls soccer, way down Southwest Virginia. 70th minute, state semi in Class 2. They're tied 1-1. Count here 1-0. Thompson set. Harding grounded to the shortstop. Sarah Thompson grabs it. The throw in time for the second out of the inning. So 2 out and nobody on for Melbrick.
Now batting center fielder number 2, McKenna Melbrick.
McKenna, one of the players that kind of had to step up after the graduating class of 17 left from that state runner-up team a year ago. Heather Childress, of course, patrolled center field for years for Lee-Davis, now at Mount Olive College. Saw her here earlier today. First pitch to Melbrick is high for ball 1. And McKenna's a very nice season in center field for Lee-Davis. Prince George has put one on the board in the top of the second at baseball, so they've got their 2-run lead back. It's now 3-1 with Deep Run batting in the bottom of the second. The 1-0 pitch at the knees for strike 1. 1-1. Madison McLaughlin on deck should the inning continue. Lee-Davis nothing, Prince George nothing, bottom of the second on an absolutely picture-perfect Friday morning here at Glen Allen High School. The 1-1, Tapper foul, and it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes to Melbrick. Thomas Dale and Western Branch have gone to the third inning at deep run, and they're tied 1 apiece. We talked to Eric Kalinich of the Times-Dispatch on RVA Locals Only about Cinderella deep run. How about Cinderella Thomas Dale? Next pitch, check swing, low. She did not go, and we're even at 2-2. It's been a great postseason for the Central District. Thomas Dale baseball playing right now. Hopewell title. Dinwiddie had a great year. And in softball, here's Prince George. Prince George baseball across the way here. Central District, great postseason. Next pitch, line foul down the third base line. And the count's still 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. As we wrap up bottle water number 1. And we'll get set to open number 2 momentarily. Thompson's ready with the 2-2 pitch. Pull the string, get strike 3. And now she's got 4 Ks in 2 innings of work. We go to the third here at the Class 5 state semifinal. It is still Prince George, nothing, and Lee-Davis, nothing. Quick update to all of our fans on Twitter who, for one reason or another, may not be able to join us here this morning. This gives us a quick opportunity to say thank you to all of the different sponsors and supporters that we have had during the 2017-18 high school season. And we'll begin with our friends over at ESPN Richmond. Had the opportunity, the honor to start working with them on RVA Locals Only back at the end of February. And glad to join them every Friday morning, 9:30 on 99.5 and 102.7 on the FM dial, 9:50 on the AM dial, and at ESPNRichmond.com. And they also archive all of our RVA Locals Only broadcasts. So already up is our conversation with Eric Kalinich of the Richmond Times-Dispatch. It's available right now on the audio vault at ESPNRichmond.com. And we're with you every Friday morning, 9:30 on the Black and Drew Sports Huddle. It's RVA Locals Only, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance on 99.5 and 102.7 ESPN. As we go top 3 here on the special edition of the Game of the Week, the Class 5 state softball semifinal. Up with them along with you wherever you may be on this Friday morning. Thank you for making us a part of your Friday. Henley back in the circle for her third inning of work, and the first pitch will miss high and away for ball 1. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters for the 21-1 Royals, Madison Quisenberry, to lead things off. Left-handed hitter. Next pitch will get the outside corner for strike 1. 1-1 the count. Looks like Deep Run Girls Soccer has drawn first blood on Douglas Freeman this morning as they approach the 30-minute mark at 1-0. Nice off-speed pitch lands perfectly across the plate, and Henley's ahead of the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes with the Thompsons to come. Lara on deck and Sarah in the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So that's strikeout number 4 for Savannah Henley. And we have 1 away. But the top of the order coming up, that's Laura Thompson. Thompson walked on 5 pitches back in the top of the first inning. First pitch will miss outside for ball 1. They finished the second at baseball. Prince George 3, Deep Run 1. Thanks to our buddy Doug Hines over there working the PA on this Friday morning. Faithful part of the RVA Sports Network as Henley sends one right down the middle for strike 1 to even the count. on Laura Thompson at 1-1. One out, nobody on, top of the third, scoreless. The pitch, showing bunt, fouled it back to the screen, and it'll be 1-2 on Laura Thompson. Henley gets set and delivers in the dirt. That'll even it up in 2 balls and 2 strikes. Down between Maggie Walker and George Mason in Class 2 girls soccer, way down in Southwest Virginia. And they are still tied at 1-1. 2-2 the count on Thompson. Shows bunt. She'll pull back. The pitch, foul, and out of play down the third base line, and the count will stay 2 balls and 2 strikes. Glen Allen High School opened in 2010.
Folks, be sure to take home a souvenir t-shirt.
Deep Run High School opened in 2003. So they are 2 of the 3 newest high schools here in the Richmond area. 2-2 pitch, ground ball towards second. Harding grabs it, the throw to first, and Thompson's retired. 2 down here, top of the third, and to the plate. The other school built so far in the 21st century here in Metro Richmond, that was, of course, Cosby High School in Chesterfield. It opened in the fall of 2006. And the first time, obviously, that Deep Run and Glen Allen have hosted state tournament action. And we're glad to welcome everyone here to Henrico County and the RVA. First pitch to Sarah, outside corner for strike 1. They've reached the 80-minute mark in Southwest Virginia. Maggie Walker, George Mason tied at 1. Next pitch, tried the off speed, stayed high, and we're even at 1-1 to Sarah Thompson, who struck out in her first at bat back in the first inning. No score, top of the third, 1-1. Ground ball towards short. Tyler Taylor can't quite get to it. It'll get into center field, and that is a 2-out center for Sarah Thompson. So the Royals looking for a 2-out rally to get on the board for the first time this morning, and with 2 down, that'll bring up the catcher, Swords.
Now batting, catcher number 9, Alyssa Swords.
So again, fans, if Lee-Davis wins today, we will be back on the air tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. for the state championship game. And our biggest thanks to the Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters Club for underwriting the cost of our state tournament coverage here live from Glen Allen High School. First pitch to Alyssa will miss a bit high for ball 1. Top of the third in baseball. It's 3-1 Prince George over Deep Run. Top of the third here at softball, still no score. The 1-0 pitch. Fly ball into center field. Will it drop? It will. Mel Brick gets it. Heading to second will be Swords. The throw to third, not in time. So a single. She'll advance to second on the throw, and there's second and third with 2 out. Here in the third, the Royals are threatening. Back-to-back singles into center field do the job. And now a huge opportunity for Abernathy.
Number 2, Harley Rosier.
Swords will get a courtesy runner. Harley Rosier will do the honors there. So she'll go to second.
Now batting center fielder number 6, Caitlin Abernathy.
And it's now Abernathy at the plate. The left-hander against the left-handed Henley. First pitch, low for ball 1. Prince George has had a runner at second each of these 3 innings. This is their best threat so far with second and third with 2 out. Here, top 3. Henley's ready, the 1-0. Missed a bit low, and the count's 2 balls and no strike. This is the first little bit of adversity that Henley has this morning. We'll see how the sophomore handles it. The 2-0 pitch. Foul down the third base line, and that'll go out of play. The count will be 2-1. Remember, Savannah was not the starting pitcher last year for Lee-Davis in their run to the state final. It was Kaylee Scott, who just completed her freshman year at Randolph-Macon College and was part of a pitching staff that led the nation in ERA through the regular season. 2-1, foul back behind us and out of play, and Henley has fought back to tie it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out, but 2 in scoring position, top of the third. Fans are continuing to file in here this morning. It's a very impressive showing. Glad to see that. Hoping for big crowds today and tomorrow at both Deep Run and Glen Allen. It's the first of 2 years where the Spring Jubilees will be held at these 2 locations. As the crow flies, they're just a few miles apart on 295. Pretty simple. 2-2 the count with 2 out as we get out of the timeout.
Will be available on demand on the NFHS network at nfhsnetwork.com.
Abernathy ready. She'll step back into the box. Haley will toe the rubber. And here comes a huge 2-2 pitch. Foul out of play down the third base line, and we'll stay at 2-2. No score, top 3. They are approaching halftime at girls soccer. We'll endeavor to get an update on that for you coming up in a moment. And timeout called. Henley will come out of the circle briefly. Now we're set and ready to go. The pitch in the dirt, 3-2. Hawker blocks it nicely to prevent the runner from coming in to score. We've got 3-2 the count. First base is open. Should she lose her to the walk, Brooke Loving is on deck. Royals fans coming alive. Now Henley to the rubber. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Do they have to throw her out? Yes, they do, and they just got her. Hawker wasn't sure, and at the last second threw it to Gentry, and by a half step, they get the strikeout, and the Royals strand 2 in scoring position. Lee-Davis gets out of a big jam there. We'll go bottom of the third here in the state semis. Still, Lee-Davis nothing, and Prince George nothing. So 2 in scoring position stranded. Middle of the third, Lee-Davis to bat, and we're scoreless still, 0-0.
The VHSL is a nonprofit organization created to ensure that the VHSL can continue to provide quality programs.
Oh, while we have a quick moment, we'll add our congratulations to the new Stanley Cup champions. Washington Capitals, for the first time in their history, hoisted the cup last night. I had to get ready for this morning, so I was asleep when that moment happened. But congratulations to the Capitals. Shared the story on RVA Locals Only this morning about how the Washington Capitals almost folded back in the early 1980s. George Michael, who was sports anchor for WRC Television, the NBC station in Washington for many, many years, also a big top 40 disc jockey back in the 1960s. He held a telethon on that television station in August of 1982 to raise money to save the Capitals. And they sold enough season tickets to keep them afloat. And now here we are in 2018, and they're hoisting the cup for the first time. Bottom of the third now, 9-1-2 hitters due up, and McLaughlin begins the inning, swing and a miss for strike 1. So Henley has 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. Thompson has 4 through 2. Next pitch bunted back to the backstop, and the count will go 0-2 on McLaughlin. Top of the order, Lauren Taylor on schedule to appear here also in the third. McLaughlin ready, and here comes the 0-2 pitch from Thompson. Swing and a miss for strike 3 and strikeout number 5. 10 combined strikeouts from Henley and Thompson, and we're only in the bottom of the third inning. Runs are going to be at a premium this morning. Top of the order for Lauren Taylor. She walked to get things going. Bottom 1 for Lee-Davis, a couple of innings back. First pitch to Lauren will be strike 1. Again, second game here today at the Glen Allen Softball Complex will be the other Class 5 semifinal between Tuscarora and Brook Point. Our winner gets their winner tomorrow at 10 a.m. 0-1. Low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Manchester Softball plays 1 o'clock this afternoon against Grassfield. And that's over at Deep Run. Thompson toes the rubber, gets set for the 1-1 pitch to Taylor. And here it comes. It's low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Thompson back of the circle, grabs some dirt. Now ready again. Next pitch, swing and a miss, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch coming. Foul back to the screen, and we'll stay at 2-2. 1-0 Deep Run leading Douglas Freeman at girls soccer. State semifinal there. First of 4 soccer matches at Glen Allen today. Next pitch, ground ball past the third baseman and into left field for a base hit. Seeing eyes single to left for Lauren Taylor here. 1 out in the bottom of the third inning, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Haley Wagner.
Now batting third baseman number 15, Haley Wagner.
Nothing for Prince George in baseball in the top of the third. They still lead Deep Run 3-1. First pitch from Thompson, popped up, foul, and drifting out of play. It'll hit the roof of the first base dugout. And the count on Haley will be no balls and 1 strike as the first and third baseman playing in, expecting a possible sac bunt, but Wagner was swinging away at that one. Had a couple of bunt attempts in her first time up when Taylor walked in the first and didn't do so well. Might be a little change of pace strategy here from head coach Jack. Coach Davis on one side, Nealon Chandler on the other for Prince George. Thompson is ready, and here comes the 0-1 delivery. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wagner back into the box. Thompson with a bit of dirt. Wipes the sweat off her brow. Jiggles the ball, and now she's ready. 1-1 pitch coming. Fly ball right field, going back the right fielder, and she'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Wagner got quite a bit on that, but Aaron Miles was in perfect position to make the play.
Now batting right fielder number 13, Sydney Guest.
So with 2 out here in the third inning, it'll bring up Sydney Guest, the left-handed hitter. and the Lee-Davis right fielder. First pitch coming. Check swing outside for ball one. George Mason just took a 2-1 lead on Maggie Walker in overtime. They'll play the 2 overtime sessions. And if the score stays that way at the end of the second 5 minutes, the Dragons season will be done. Next pitch is low, and it's 2-0 to Guess. And it's anything that she could jack over the fence and hit a 2-run homer here. But by the same token, she also knows that Logan Hawker is on deck. This is the heart and the dangerous part of the Lee-Davis order. Guess is ready, and we get set for the 2-0 delivery from Thompson. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. 2-1 the count. Lauren Taylor at first with a 1-out single to left. In case you're wondering, Hanover Girls Soccer, they play their state semifinal at 12 noon. Next pitch low, 3 the count. Powhatan Dinwiddie, state semi in softball. That is a 2 p.m. start at the Moyer Complex down in Salem, Virginia. And the winner will go to the state title game tomorrow. The 3-1. Fly ball down the right field, left field line, drifting, and Thompson, the shortstop, tried to make a play, could not get to it, and will go full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Remember, complete list of all the games going on today, right now at rvasportsnetwork.com, and right many of you have been joining us over the last week for score updates, bracket updates, location, ticket, game time information, and more. We'll keep all that live through tomorrow night. State Tournament Central at rvasportsnetwork.com. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Taylor at first, bottom 3, no score in this state semifinal. Next pitch to Guess, foul back to the screen. And we'll stay at 3 balls and 2 strikes. One nothing. They get set to start the second half at girls soccer. Thompson is ready. Here comes the payoff. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And another big K for Laura Thompson, and they strand Taylor at first, and we go to the 4th inning. And we still are scoreless. Here live in the 2018 Class 5 State Softball Semifinal. More to come coming up in just a moment. We'll take a very quick break. Be right back here live on the RVA Sports Network. Welcome you back in here to Glen Allen High School, top of the fourth. About to begin. Rob with them along with you here live on the RVA Sports Network. Today's coverage brought to you by the Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters Club. First pitch, pop-up, shallow right field. Right fielder Guess is going to call off Harding at second to make the catch, and Loving is retired. And one pitch, one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. So Nace to the plate. First pitch will nip the corner for strike number one. Laura Thompson, by our count, 6 strikeouts in her first 3 innings of work. Next pitch to Nace. Grounder toward third. Wagner charges. Throw to Gentry, and Nace is retired. Second out of the inning. A quick 1-2 here. Top of 4. Two down, and that'll bring up Haley Godfrey. So we get into the middle innings here. Things begin to get a little bit tighter. Every at-bat means a little bit more. Swing and a miss. Godfrey down to the count 0-1. In the fourth now at baseball, still Prince George 3, deep run 1. Next pitch low, 1 ball and 1 strike. To Haley Godfrey, the third baseman. Prince George baseball made it to this level last year, lost in the state semis. They're looking to go a step further and play for the championship tomorrow morning. Next pitch foul over to the first base dugout. And it'll be 1-2 on Godfrey with the right fielder Aaron Miles on deck. Should the inning continue. Loving flew out to right. Nace with the ground out to Wagner at third. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 down. Godfrey digs in. Henley back in. Toes the rubber and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch gets her. A quick 1-2-3 inning there. And strikeout number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First time today that it's been 1, 2, 3 for Prince George at the plate. Middle of the fourth, still no score. Hawker, Gentry, Bareford, they are scheduled to appear here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Hawker had a solo homer in the 2-1 win over Prince George Friday night in the regional final, as did Gentry. Gentry has had some incredibly timely hits this season. She had the walk-off to beat Atlee in that 9-inning classic on our game of the week back in April. Couple of Friday nights later at home against Hanover, Lee-Davis led. Then Hanover took the lead top of the 7th, and Lee-Davis had to score 3 to walk it off, and they did, thanks to another walk-off hit from Gentry. And as we mentioned, Gentry went yard in the regional final last Friday night. But both pitchers doing very well so far this morning. Now Thompson has to face hitters 4, 5, and 6 in the Lee-Davis lineup, and we'll be getting close to the heart of the Prince George lineup soon. They will be 8, 9, and 1 when they come up top 5. So Hawker to the plate. No score, bottom of the fourth inning. Second half is underway. It's deep run 1, Douglas Freeman nothing. In the 48th minute, first pitch rolls to the plate. Kind of got away from Laura, and the count will be 1-0. Once in a while, that's why Laura especially picking up dirt, trying to get some grip. You sweat, number 1. The humidity's higher today than it has been all week long. And number 2, it's nerves. You're in the state tournament. Here's the 1-0. High, 2 balls and no strikes. And again, while the advantage of experience at this level belongs to Lee-Davis, it really is partially negated by the senior experience and motivation behind a Prince George team that came so close to state tournament play each of the last 2 years. Lars ready. Here comes the 2-0. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1 on Logan Hawker here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Gentry on deck. And now the 2-1. High, 3 balls and 1 strike. So far this morning, leadoff walk, leadoff strikeout, leadoff strikeout. So only 1 leadoff batter on base for Lee-Davis, and that was back in the 1st. The 3-1. Fly ball, well hit, right center field. Back goes the right fielder, and she'll make the catch coming into the wall. That's Aaron Miles with a fantastic catch for the first out of the inning. To win a state championship, you need some defensive gems, and Aaron Miles just provided one. It's one of those plays where in the books it'll go out as a fly out to the right fielder, but it was so much more than that. And Miles met that chain link fence, but she's none the worse for wear, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fantastic play by Miles in right field. 1 down, and that'll bring up Jesse Gentry. First pitch, swing and a miss for strike 1. Erford on deck, 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Next pitch fouled back to the screen. And the count will be 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning, still no score. Thompson ready, and the pitch fouled out of play, and Gentry stays alive at 0-2. So great season for the Maggie Walker girls soccer team comes to a close in an overtime loss here this morning in the state semis to George Mason. That's our first final score of state semifinal Friday. Thompson is set, and another 0-2 coming. Swing and a miss, and Gentry goes down on strikes for the 2nd time today. 2 down and nobody on for Katie Bareford.
Bank visiting player number 10, Katie Bareford.
Coach Davis will call time and take a moment and talk with Katie. 2 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Some action going on over at baseball. But first, the first pitch from Thompson to Bareford in the dirt. 4-1. It is going to the 5th inning now. Prince George continues to lead at baseball as Bareford swings and misses and evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bareford takes, and it's going to go in at the knees for strike 2. So 1-2 with 2 out. And Thompson looking for strikeout number 8. The pitch. Got it. Swing and a miss. 8 strikeouts for Laura Thompson.
That's the end of the fourth.
And we go to the fifth inning, and the pitcher's duel continues. There's been some good defense. There have been some stranded. Honestly, no surprise there. 6 strikeouts in 4 innings for Savannah Henley. 8 strikeouts in 4 innings for Laura Thompson. So 14 combined out of 24 possible outs. And we'll go to the fifth. It'll be the 8-9-1 hitters for Prince George. And the score remains 0-0. A lot of fun things coming up over the summer with the RVA Sports Network. We also like to take some time once the season completes. We take about a week to regroup, and then we begin polling you, our fans, some teams and games of the year gone by. So start looking for that at RVASportsNetwork.com. We'll continue RVA Locals only on Friday mornings through the summer on ESPN Richmond, 99.5, 102.7 on the FM dial, 950 on the AM dial. And, of course, you can listen live in the office every Friday morning. ESPNRichmond.com. Hope you start your day with Bob Black and Andrew Wallace on the Black and Drew Sports Huddle. Weekday mornings from 8 to 10. Golick and Wingo from 6 to 8. Bob and Andrew take you the rest of the way and start your workday from 8 until 10 a.m. Here again live on 99.5 and 102.7 ESPN. Have a lot of fun. We're lining up. Hopefully going to be some great guests over the summertime. It's the one time of the year where we don't have to worry about, hey, we'd love so-and-so player to come and join us, but they're in class. Well, that's not the case in summertime. So we're hoping to have some really good fun and good conversations with student athletes here as we get into the summer of 2018. And all of that thanks to our friends at Farm Bureau Insurance. Top of the fifth, and the right fielder Miles will swing and foul it off to the backstop for strike one. Miles just made that great defensive play on the Hawker drive to deep right field a moment ago in the bottom of the fourth inning. Henley set and fires, swing and a miss. And the count will quickly be 0-2. So top 5 at baseball. Prince George still up by a couple. They are now in the 55th minute at soccer as Miles will ground one foul down the third base line, and we'll stay at 0-2. And it's still deep run 1, Douglas Freeman nothing in that Class 5 state girls soccer semifinal. That was the final score when they played the regional final last Friday night at Godwin. Deep Run with the nail-biting win at 1-0. That rematch between Deep Run and Mills Godwin boys soccer is at 2 o'clock today here at Glen Allen High School. 0-2. Check swing. Did she go? Yes. Strike 3, and that's strikeout number 7 for Savannah Henley. One down here in the top of the fifth for Maddie Quisenberry.
Now batting does a player with 34, Madison Quisenberry.
Left-handed hitter. Quisenberry struck out to lead off the third inning and takes one to the knees here for strike 1. We'll have live Twitter coverage of that Deep Run Mills Godwin boys soccer match coming up on Henrico Sports today at 2 o'clock. 0-1 pitch will paint the outside corner for strike 2. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He takes a quick break. And we have timeout called Umpires ruling 1 ball and 2 strikes to Quisenberry. Now we have that straight, and the pitch swing and a miss for strike 3. So 2 out and nobody on, but it is the top of the order, and Laura Thompson.
Now batting pitcher, number 11, Laura Thompson.
Laura, always an extremely difficult out. Always a threat just to lay down a bunt down the third base line and speed her way to first base. Swing and a miss that time, and the count's 0-1. Henley prepared, and the 0-1 pitch. It's a fly ball into center field. Melbrick coming over, and McKenna makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So a 1-2-3 fifth for Prince George. And Lee-Davis will come to the plate. Bottom 5, still scoreless. So Savannah has retired 7 in a row.
The Allstate Foundation believes in lifelong commitment to community starts young.
And now Lee-Davis got to get the bats cranked up if they want to punch their ticket to a 2nd consecutive state championship game. A pitcher's duel at about the highest level you can get. Reminds us a lot of last year's championship, Peyton St. George versus Kaylee Scott. And the only mistake that was thrown all day was the pitch that Peyton St. George sent over the fence for the solo homer. And it was 1-0 Atlee with the win. And how eerie it was to watch that game unfold, because that's exactly how Atlee won their last regular season meeting with Lee-Davis in 2017. A 1-0 shutout on a Peyton George solo homer. History repeated itself. So here we go, bottom 5. And we'll start with Carly Harding, the second baseman.
Carly Harding.
Harding is ready. Thompson is ready. And the first pitch, foul, and out of play behind the Prince George faithful, and the count will be 0-1 to the second baseman, Carly Harding, who grounded out to short her first time up this morning. It is still morning, right? Yep, 11:15. Thompson set to deliver the 0-1 pitch. Foul again behind the Prince George faithful. And the count is 0 balls and 2 strikes to Harding. Harding, Melbrick, McLaughlin. 7-8-9 here for Lee-Davis in the bottom of the 5th in a scoreless tie. Set and the pitch. Foul, out of play. That ball was high, and Carly chased it and was able to pop it behind our press box position, and we're still at 0-2. Things getting tighter with every at-bat, every pitch thrown. Thompson set, and here comes another 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got to throw to first to make it official, and they do. 1 down, strikeout number 9 for Thompson. And now it'll be Melbrick coming to the plate with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. She struck out to end the 2nd inning in her first time at bat. 61st minute at soccer, and nothing, deep run. First pitch, swing and a miss for strike 1. Thompson looking for strikeout number 10 on the morning. A 1 pitch. High and outside, 1-1 the count. Goochland baseball struggling this morning. They're going to the 6th inning in the Class 2 baseball semis. Our buddy Billy Fellon down in Southwest Virginia with that one, and Page County leads at 5-0 heading to the 6th. Thompson set to deliver the 1-1 here. Popped up, shallow right field. Coming in the right fielder, Miles, and she'll make the catch without a problem for the second out of the inning. So 2 down for Madison McLaughlin, the center fielder.
Madison McLaughlin.
Check that Madison left field this morning. McKenna in center. 10 o'clock tomorrow is the Class 5 final. Winner of this one gets the winner of Brook Point and Tuscarora. They are scheduled to start at 1 o'clock this afternoon, right here at Glen Allen. First pitch showing bunt, fouls for strike 1. Should McLaughlin find her way on base, Lauren Taylor, the leadoff hitter, is on deck. Latest start for an area team today will be Cosby Soccer over at Deep Run with their Class 6 state semifinal. 0-1 pitch, showing bunt again. It goes to right to Thompson. She'll fire to first for the easy third out. 5 in the books here in the Class 5 state semifinals, and we still are scoreless. A quick update just in from Class 6 baseball over at Deep Run. Thomas Dale has just tied up Western Branch. It's 5-5 now in the 5th inning. And the Knights looking to take that Cinderella story all the way to the championship game tomorrow. To do it, they've got to beat one of the powers in that classification. 5-5 now. Western Branch had the lead. The Knights have tied it. And that is in the 5th inning, thanks to our friend Jamie Frankenberry over at Deep Run High School. He, of course, reporting for Western Branch for their fans down in the 7-5-7. There is a pitching change across the way. Prince George bringing in a reliever. Deep Run's got 2 on in the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's still 3-1. So it will be here in the top of the 6th inning, the second, third, and 4th batters in the lineup, and that'll start with the shortstop, Sarah Thompson. First pitch will be at the knees for strike 1. She struck out in the 1st. She singled to center in the 3rd. Sarah 1 for 2 this morning. Grounder to the 3rd, gets past Wagner. Taylor grabs it. Long throw, not in time. And then she went off the bag and went around, and Gentry tags her, and she's out. Oh, my. Coach Chandler wants a word. I think he's going to have a word first with his player and then second with the umpire to argue that call, but it was blatantly obvious. Thompson rounded first. Now, if you get to first and stay straight or move into foul territory, then it's a dead play. But if you round first base, it's a live situation. And Gentry had the ball because it came in late from Taylor. So kudos to Taylor for making the throw anyway, which a lot of times your coaches will look at you and go, eat the ball because I don't want you to throw it away and give the runner second. And that's one of those times where 98% of the time the play goes against you, and then there's 2% when it actually goes your way, and that's exactly what just happened. So the error won't hurt. And it'll be Swords, the catcher, coming in with 1 out and nobody on, and Coach Chandler will have a discussion with the home plate umpire, and they pump fist, and they're on the same page, and everything's fine. And coach is disappointed, obviously so, and is going to double check and support his team, and that's part of the job of being the head coach. But heads up play by Gentry there. So Alyssa to the plate with one out. Here in the top of the sixth inning, first pitch in there for strike one. Henley has 8 Ks here with one out in the sixth inning. Her streak of 7 retired batters in a row ended with that error because officially Thompson reached first, and then she was tagged out after she went around the bag. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike now. Abernathy is on deck in the top of the sixth inning. Next pitch, fly ball, well hit down the left field line, and it will be caught. McLaughlin will come over near the line and make the catch for the second out of the inning. So 2 down here in the sixth. And, arguably when you've got the 2, 3, 4 hitters up in your lineup, that's when you want to try to do some damage. And so far, a mental error, and now a fly out. And now Abernathy to the plate. Grounded out in the first, struck out in the third. First pitch will miss outside. Ball 1. We mentioned earlier, Caitlin is on her way to Christopher Newport University. So she'll be playing against her sister a couple of times in the next 2 years. Next pitch fouled out of play behind the Lee-Davis faithful, and it counts now even at 1-1. Older sister Casey has just finished up another season, of course, at Randolph-Macon. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on, top 6. Prince George, nothing. Lee-Davis, nothing. Class 5 state softball semifinal. Next pitch, missed high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Glad that you are with us wherever you are this morning on the RBA Sports Network as we put a capper this weekend on our 2017-18 high school sports coverage. The 2-1. Up the middle, past Henley's glove. Second baseman knocks it down, but can't get there in time, and that'll be an infield hit for Abernathy with 2 down here in the 6th. With 2 away, that's going to bring up Brooke Loving.
Number 3, Brooke Loving.
So Loving with the opportunity here. Get something going with 2 out. Trying to put the first run of the game on the board. And Brooke's going to call timeout and step out of the box. Loving ready. The first pitch to her will be right down the pike for strike 1. Next pitch fouled back to the screen, and it'll be 0-2. Page County has just defeated King William in the Class 2 softball semis. 4-0 is the final score in that one. Great run by the Cavaliers. Next pitch, fly ball into left field, and again, McLaughlin there to make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So 2 hits, 1 strange play, 1 left on base, and 2 flyouts to left. And that's kind of a summary of the top of the 6th inning for Prince George. We go bottom 6. Prince George, nothing. Lee-Davis, nothing. And the top of the order is coming up for Lee-Davis.
The Jaguars Athletic Association. Also, Kona Ice is here, so cool down with refreshing shaved ice.
Have a report on another final that just has come in, but we do not have the final score on it yet. But what we do know, as we check one thing really quickly, going to endeavor to get a final score before we say anything about that. So we don't mean to keep you in suspense, fans, but we will for just a moment. As it'll be Taylor, Wagner, and Guess here in the top at the bottom of the sixth for Lee-Davis, the home team. Taylor walked in the first inning. She singled back in the third inning. And now the first pitch here. Strike one. Thought about swinging, held back. Thompson in the zone for strike one. A 1 pitch high and away, 1-1. Prince George nothing, Lee-Davis nothing. The 1-1 pitch. Got the outside corner for strike two. Taylor back in. Likes the front of that batter's box. She's ready. Thompson's ready. 1-2. Pop up. Should stay in foul territory. And the catcher calls off the first baseman. And Swords will make the catch for the first out of the inning. So one gone here in the bottom of the sixth inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, Haley Wagner. Outs right now in 5 1/3 innings for Laura Thompson. First pitch, pop up down the first base line. Second baseman Loving drifting into shallow right, and she will make the catch for the second out of the inning. So the catcher in foul grounds, and then the second baseman in foul grounds. And why am I beginning to get the feeling it's going to take more than 7 innings to get this one in the books? We're running out of regulation. Bottom 6, 2 out, still no score. Third time through in the lineup. Guess is ready. The first pitch, low and away for ball 1. Coach Chandler wants to have a conversation with his infield and with Laura and Alyssa. And they're going to head to the circle with a mound conversation or a circle conversation. 72nd minute at soccer, and Douglas Freeman has tied it up. Thanks to our buddy Will Catterley over there with his camera on his right shoulder with Watch Sports Wire to give us that update. And they're going to the 6th inning in baseball. Prince George still leading Deep Run 3-1. Deep Run had runners, 2 runners on. They had the go-ahead run at the plate in the 5th, but could not get anyone across. So top 6 baseball, Prince George 3, Lee-Davis 1. Royals trying to make it a step further this year and get to the finals tomorrow. Conversation complete. We get set for the 1-0 pitch. Misses low. 2 balls and no strikes to Sydney Guess. Logan Hawker is on deck. Should Guess get aboard? Lee-Davis has lived on the long ball the last 2 games. 2 solo homers in the win over Prince George in the regional final. 2-run homer from Jesse Gentry on Tuesday night was the difference in the 2-1 win over Kempsville. 2-0. Got the outside corner for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Sydney Guess. who, as we mentioned earlier, on her way to Coastal Carolina. Guess a senior, Wagner a senior, Hawker senior, Gentry senior. Next pitch in the dirt and away. 3-1 to Guess. Lee-Davis seems to reload, not rebuild, but it'll be a much more difficult reloading for Coach Davis and company next year. So we've already seen some changing of the guard in Hanover County here the last 2 weeks. We'll talk more about that in a moment. 3-1 pitch. Line toward the second baseman and into right field for a base hit. 2-out single for Sydney Guess. And that puts Logan Hawker to the plate with 2 out here in the 6th.
Logan Hawker.
Logan is a threat to go yard at any time. She threatened in her last at bat, but Aaron Miles came up with a fantastic catch deep in right field, bashing into the wall to make the grab and save extra bases. Thompson ready. First pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Douglas Freeman has just scored again at girls soccer. In the 74th minute, they take the lead on deep run, 2-1 in the state semis there. That would be an upset victory if Freeman eliminates the Wildcats. Thompson gets the sign, steps on the rubber. And here comes the 1-0 to Hawker. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Gentry is on deck. So Laura Thompson's got to navigate the heart of this Lee-Davis order right now. And Lee-Davis has to be careful not to have the mentality of all or nothing. We thought one of the keys coming into this game was that Lee-Davis could not live and die by the home run. They needed an inning where they could string a few hits together and score a few runs that way. Hasn't happened for them in a few games. The 2-0. Outside, 3-0. Swords tried to bring it back into the zone. Umpire wouldn't do it. 3 balls, no strikes. With 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Guess on with a single to right with 2 down. Coach Davis with a quick word to Logan. And that word might have been, whatever you do, don't swing at a 3-0. We'll see. Thompson ready. Here it comes. Right down the pike for strike 1, and she was taking all the way. 3 balls and 1 strike as Thompson threw a fastball right down the middle just to keep from allowing her to get on base and put Gentry aboard into the batter's box with 2 down. Hawker ready, 3-1, outside ball 4. So Hawker will walk. We'll probably see Sierra Talley courtesy run for the catcher. It'll be first and second. And it'll be Jesse Gentry, who I have to tell you has to be, considering some of the things that Jesse has done this season.
First baseman, number 11, Jesse Gentry.
We were talking with Eric Kalenich on RVA Locals Only on ESPN Richmond this morning, and we had a chance to talk real briefly about when the all-metro teams for spring sports will be coming out from the TD. And if I had a softball vote, I would definitely say that Jesse Gentry merits consideration for first-team all-metro with some of the timely hits she's had. She had the huge heads-up play here a moment ago defensively. She threw out who would have been the tying run in the region championship early on last Friday night. Gentry's had a phenomenal year. The first pitch to her, swing and a miss for strike 1. Now she wants to do a better job at the plate today. So far, she's 0 for 2, and both times she has struck out. Big-time players come up at big opportunities, and there's not much bigger than 2 on, 2 out, bottom 6 in a state semifinal in a scoreless game. Thompson being very careful. 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Frankly, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think if you walk a Gentry, you want to get her. You want to get the third out and get out of here. But if you end up, you don't want to give her anything in the heart of the plate either. But if you end up walking her, the bases are loaded, I'm not sure I'd rather take my chances with Bareford, who's on deck, and play at any base. But that's a roll of the dice, too. 1-1 the count. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Gentry ahead on that swing. And Thompson, been a little while since she struck out someone. It's been 6 batters. She last struck out Carly Harding to lead off the 5th inning. Jessie does not want to strike out for a third time this morning. 1-2 the count, 2-on. And the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Thompson comes up huge. And 2 are left on base. And Gentry is now 0 for 3 this morning. Fans, we're going to the 7th, and there's still no score. It's a classic pitchers confrontation here live at the Class 5 State Softball Semifinals. We're back in just a moment live on the RBA Sports Network. Fans, 7th inning getting ready to start. A big thank you once again to the Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters Club. They are sponsoring our broadcast this morning and underwriting our production so that we can bring you this classic state semifinal in Class 5 softball. If Lee-Davis is victorious this morning, we will be back with you for the state championship tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here on our YouTube channel. If Prince George wins, we will be back in the morning. We'll be live on Twitter at the RBA Sportsnet. Good news, Prince George fans, 2 runs in for baseball, and they've upped their lead on Deep Run to 5-1. Deep Run coming to bat, bottom of the 6th inning. Time running out on Cinderella. Nace, the batter, first pitch, will miss for ball 1. So Kyla to lead things off. Godfrey and Miles also due up. Next pitch, foul down the third base line and out of play, and the count's 1-1. Then 8 hitters for both teams in the 7th inning. Henley ready in the pitch. Line to left field, and it'll drop for a base hit. McLaughlin cannot get there in time, and it's a 1-out single for Kyla Nace. Leadoff batter gets on base here in the 7th, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Haley Godfrey. Henley, ready. First pitch, fair ball. Down the right field line. Nace on her way to third. Throw coming in. They'll stop her at third. Godfrey to second with a double. And the Royals have second and third with nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. Coach Davis will quickly call time and go talk to the troops. Nobody out, second and third. Prince George threatening. Here in the Class 5 semis. So a leadoff single by Nace. Godfrey finds one right down the right field line for the double. Second and third, nobody out for Aaron Miles, the number 8 hitter in the order. And it is a final at girls soccer. Douglas Freeman has shot deep run. Region champs and one of the best teams in the area all season long. 2-1 the final score there. First pitch to Miles, swing and a miss for strike one. So Freeman 2, deep run 1, Freeman girls soccer to the state championship tomorrow. Now the 0-1 pitch showing bunt, and that's strike 2. Hawker thought about throwing to third. Nace quickly gets back to the bag. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Now, unless there's a double play in this scenario, you're guaranteed to get to the top of the order. As the number 8 hitter is Miles, Quisenberry is on deck, and Laura Thompson is in the hole. Time called by Godfrey. Check that, by Miles. Big opportunity for Aaron. The 0-2 pitch. Check swing, missed low and away, 1-2. Savannah Henley's had a lot of pressure cookers this year, none bigger than the one she's in right now. 7th inning of a state semifinal. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and a huge first out. One away here in the 7th for Maddie Quisenberry. That is Savannah Henley's first strikeout in 8 batters. Before that, her last strikeout was to Quisenberry back in the 5th. First pitch to Maddie. Right down the pike for strike 1. Henley ready. Next pitch showing bunt. Does it. The squeeze play. Throw safe. Tag not applied. The squeeze play works, and Prince George takes the lead. 1-0. Maddie Quisenberry. Makes it 1-0 here in the top of the 7th inning. And as we mentioned a moment ago, that brings up the top of the order in Laura Thompson. Fields will come in to run for Quisenberry. And it's the top of the order with Thompson. 1 out, top 7, runners at the corners, and it's 1-0. Henley to the rubber. Is inside for ball 1. Courtesy runner flying down. Jamie Fields to second. They will have no throw there. So it is 2nd and 3rd with 1 out and 1 in here in the 7th. Prince George baseball up 4 in the 6th. Prince George softball just taking the lead 1-0 top 7. We get a timeout called, and Coach Jackie Davis says we want to intentionally walk Laura Thompson, and they do. Doesn't get any easier because Sarah Thompson's right behind her. So now with the bases loaded and 1 out, Sarah Thompson could do some serious damage and bust this game wide open. The senior shortstop with a huge opportunity here. First pitch misses away for ball 1. And occasionally in this situation in the past, we've seen the body language of Henley become a little frustrated, and we're seeing just a few signs of that right now. Again, this is her first state championship tournament game. Got the outside corner that time, 1-1 the count. Kaylee Scott was the ace of the 17 team. Kylie Stonebreaker 2 years ago when Henley was in the 8th grade. 1-1 pitch. Line into left field. Fair ball. 1 run scores. Here comes another. And they're waving home Thompson. And she will score. It's 4-0. Prince George. The bases clearing double from Laura Thompson. And the big inning belongs to the Royals. Sarah Thompson at second and 3 runs in. So that brings up the catcher, Alyssa Swords, with 1 out and 1 on, and it's 4-0 Prince George. First pitch at the knees for strike 1. Next pitch, check swing, outside corner, strike 2. And quickly the count 0-2. 4-0 top of the 7th. Showing bunt, pulling back, and a hitter. And Swords will get on with the hit by pitch. And it'll be first and second with 1 out.
Running to the Royals, number 2, Harley Rozier.
So we'll get the courtesy runner for the catcher. And Abernathy will come to the plate. The Prince George Royal fans up on their feet, sensing a trip to tomorrow morning's championship game. First pitch. Fly ball, left field, coming in. McLaughlin to make the catch for the second out of the inning. So 2 down here in this all-important 7th, and Brooke Loving will become the 9th hitter in this half inning for Prince George. Time called. We've already had a region runner-up beat a region champion. Girls soccer, Freeman eliminates Deep Run 2-1 to go to the championship. It could be happening right here. First pitch down the pike for strike 1. Loving down 0-1. Henley trying to get out of this inning. Lee-Davis will have to score 4 to keep their season alive and 5 to walk it off. Next pitch popped up. Hawker right there at the plate can make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, here we go, fans. 4 runs for Prince George in the top of the 7th inning. And we go bottom 7. Bareford, Harding, Melbreck, 6, 7, 8 due up. And they head to the top of the 7th at baseball. Prince George 5, Deep Run 3. Deep Run has cut into the margin. But here it's the last chance for Lee-Davis if they want to try to get what they've been waiting for since 2011, and that's another state championship. They're down by 4. 4-0 Prince George, winner to the 10 a.m. championship game tomorrow morning right here at Glen Allen High School. Laura Thompson, who has been such a good pitcher all year long, with a chance to finally make the dream come true and allow this group of Royals to play for a state championship. While we have a quick second, again, a big word of thanks to the Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters Club for making our broadcast possible this morning. 2018-19 school year will be here in a flash, and the Athletic Boosters Club always needing support. If you're a Lee-Davis fan, alum, parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, student, find out more. Go to their Facebook page. Just search for Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters on Facebook. That's Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters, or call the school office for more information. And we thank them for making this broadcast this morning possible. First pitch to Bareford was in the dirt for ball one. This is such an exciting time of year, and at the same time, it's heartbreaking because you hate to see the kids when they're eliminated. First pitch there, swing and a miss, 1-1 the count. But you also love to see the jubilation with the teams that move on, especially when they realize they're going to be one of the last two teams to play in their classification on the game's biggest stage. Thompson ready, the 1-1 pitch. Outside corner for strike two, and Thompson with a great big smile as she placed that ball exactly where she wanted it. 1-2 the count to Bareford. One-two pitch, grounder towards short, and he'll get past her. Into center field, Thompson couldn't quite get it, and Bareford is on with a leadoff single.
Now batting second baseman number 1, Carly Hardy.
Carly Harding will come up with the leadoff hitter, Bareford, aboard with the single, and Sydney Gentry is going to run for her. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Harding struggled at the plate a bit this year during the regular season. She's had some good and timely hits in the postseason, and Lord knows Lee-Davis fans want her to have one now. First pitch lined into center field, and it's a base hit. And Lee-Davis is not dead yet. Tally's going to try to go to third. She better slide. Hurry. Out. Runner to second. Safe. They took a gamble to try to get the runners up one base, and Tally gets thrown out at third. When you're down 4 in the 7th, the last thing you want to do is lose a runner at third base, especially your lead runner. Holy cow. That is a gutsy time to make that call and try to make that happen, because the ball, it was in the infield when Gentry made the decision to run. So now instead of 2 on and nobody out, it's 1 on but 1 out, and you still have the 8-9 hitters coming up. So Melbrick to the plate. Glass half empty for Lee-Davis, half full for Prince George on that play. Thompson is ready. And the first pitch to McKenna. Popped her up. Loving it second. Calls everybody off, says, I've got it. 2 out. And now it'll be up to Madison McLaughlin to keep the Lee-Davis season alive. The Prince George Royals are 1 out away from the state championship game. Cries of one more from the Prince George faithful down the first base line. 1 out away. Thompson ready. The first pitch, high for ball 1. And 2 out, but the lead runner, when they had 2 aboard, thrown out trying to advance to third base. The 1-0. Low. 2 balls, no strikes. Winner of this one gets the winner of our next game that'll be here at Glen Allen between Brook Point and Tuscarora, scheduled to begin in 1 hour. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Thompson. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Thompson taking her time. Grabs the rosin, comes on back toward the circle. And now the 2-1 pitch. On the outside corner for strike 2. 1 strike. That's all they need. And Prince George is on their way to the state championship. Hands on her hips. Thompson smiles and looks at the coaches for the call. And now she's ready. It's 2-2. Thompson's ready and fires. Low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, with the game as tight as it's been most of the way this morning, why not go 3-2 on what could be the game's final batter? She doesn't want to lose her because top of the order, Lauren Taylor, is on deck. Lee-Davis has a heartbeat, but that's all. Prince George can taste it. 3-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. And the Prince George Royals will go to the 2018 Class 5 State Championship with a big 4-0 victory over Lee-Davis. They'll play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning against either Tuscarora or Brook Point for the championship. Congratulations to the Prince George Royals. Gutsy when they needed to be in the 7th offensively, and Laura Thompson comes in and fittingly gets a strikeout to end the game. For the Lee-Davis Confederates, a very difficult way to end the season. Another disappointing season in at the state tournament level. In the last 3 years, they've lost in the state semis. They've lost in the state championship. And now today, they again lose in state semifinal action. 4-0